Welcome everyone to Train Tuesday. I am your host, Jim Wigan with Athearn. So glad to have you on board. I hope you're enjoying your summer. And if you're enjoying the content that we deliver on a weekly basis, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video like this drops into our channel. And go ahead and comment. I try to answer as many comments as possible. Can't promise you I'm going to get every single comment, but I do my college best. So, we're going to be talking some old school tank cars, and you can probably tell by looking at behind me that there's going to be some old tank cars that come from the 1930s into the 1960s. So these are perfect for you guys that are modeling transition era, specifically steam into early diesel. And we've got a little bit of everything for you on these cars. Now, these are Athearn based, and we're going to talk about them in detail and maybe even do some operating with one or two of them just so you can see how great these little cars are. So if you're a transition modeler in HO, pay attention. These are going to be arriving at hobby shops. Depending on when you're watching this, they could already be available, but they'll probably be shipping about the middle of August. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with some model train goodness. Now, we announced these single dome tank cars back in April of 2022. That was a while ago. Now, we are working closely with our factory to firm up those deadlines so they're not quite as long as they have been. And we want to offer these to you sooner than later. So that's just a reference point. If you pre-ordered these, you may have already gotten an email or a phone call from your dealer. If you didn't, you may be a little bit hard pressed to find them because we have tightened up our pre-orders with the factory. What that means is in the past, we would order above the pre-orders just so that there was store stock for dealers, but that was not working out. So we've tightened up the pre-orders, and unless you pre-ordered, you're going to have a hard time finding these cars. So let's go ahead and take a look. There's the announcement. This is also available in the description below. You can hit the PDF link and see this for yourself. But let's go ahead and take a look at the actual cars. Going back to 1930s era steam, man, if you've got, say, an Athearn Mogul, this would be the perfect car to go with it. Now, this is 1930s era Union Oil. Really cool paint scheme on this car. I mean, let's admit, the colors look good. The logo looks good. It's a really iconic car, and it was one that we wanted to offer. Now, all of the tank cars in this run are going to be available as 2 singles as well as a 4-car set. Now, there is a savings in the 4-car set. When you purchase all 4 cars, you get a savings on that 4th car. It's almost free if you go with the 4-car set. Now, if you look at the PDF, some of you may be shocked at the price. Keep in mind that's MSRP. That's not what the hobby shop is selling these for. You can shop around and find the best price, just like with anything else, any other type of commodity. And our tank cars are no different. Now, the 4-car sets, you don't have to worry about duplicating road numbers. They're all different, and that includes the 2 singles. So again, 1930s Union Oil, really cool model. This should be coming out here very soon. Champlin Refining. This is a 1950s car. So if you're modeling late steam, early diesel, maybe you're modeling with that new Athearn Mogul you just picked up, or one of our Athearn Genesis GP7s. This would be a great car to add to your fleet. We're going to offer this 1950s car in 2 different singles as well as a 4-car set. Richfield comes up next, another 1950s car. So like the previous car, great for late steam era or early diesel era. We're going to offer this car in 2 road numbers. As far as singles, you can see 148 is on your screen, as well as another single, 146, in a 4-car set. Again, remember those road numbers, they don't duplicate. Another colorful one for the 1950s, 1952 on up. This is Union Starch and Refining. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and I've said it many times before on Train Tuesday, the date that you see here, 1952, is a starting point. It's a starting point from what our researchers could find that car's data. If you model 1953, don't sweat it. You can still add this to your fleet. If you model later, you can take some liberties and run it as it is out of the box, or in some cases, you can add some additional decals and some weathering to make it appropriate for your era. Now we're going to offer this car in 2 singles as well as a 4-car set. Going back to the 1930s, 1937 and above, we've got Bell Oil. Really cool car. We're going to offer this in 2 different road numbers as singles and a 4-car set. So you have the ability to have 6 of these cars all alike, with the exception of the road number. And NDM. Now, this one is a little bit later, 1960s, and that was pretty much how NDM got their equipment. They got a lot of their equipment from North America and kept using it throughout the 1960s and some cases in the 1970s. And we've had a lot of feedback on south of the border railroads. They're gaining popularity, and we love that because that just makes Athearn have a much wider arrangement of models that we can offer. As long as there's a demand for it, we'll still keep filling that demand. And so folks that model south of the border, we've got some cars here for you. 1960s era, and available in 2 singles as well as a 4-car set. Now let's talk about these features. Now at first glance, I know there's going to be somebody in the comment section that says, these are just warmed over blue box kits. Well, they're not. They may be based on the old blue box from years ago, but that's where the similarities end. The first thing that happened with these is the molds that make these models have been upgraded quite a bit. So there's more fidelity. They have much better, finer look. If you look at the rivets, things of that nature, it's a lot more detailed than what it was as a kit. Second of all, you don't have to build it. Third of all, it comes with scale knuckle couplers. Now, I realize not everybody likes the McHenry couplers, but they are easy to change out to the couplers of your liking. Another thing that Blue Box didn't include back in the day was metal wheel sets. These have metal wheel sets with the RP25 contour, which means they will operate smoothly and efficiently on any manufacturer's HO scale track. Now, the 4-packs, of course, include unique road numbers, so you don't have to worry about duplicating. Remember in the old days when we used to have to scrub the last 2 numbers off and put new decals on? Well, those days are over with these kits. The other thing that these are going to have is they're weighted for optimum performance. Now, if you're a stickler for the NMRA weights, you probably will have to add a little bit of weight. They are fully assembled and ready to run, so don't confuse yourself by what I said earlier as kits. They're not technically kits. They are ready to run. They're just ready to come right out of the box and right onto the rails. They do feature that highly detailed injection molded body. Again, this is not the same mold as it was as a blue box. It's a totally different mold. Now, you want to know what radius these will run on? Well, since they're smaller cars, they're from an earlier era, a minimum radius of 18 inches is absolutely no problem. So if you've got a shelf layout like I do, or even if you just have a small 4x8 or even a 4x6 layout, these cars will navigate that really, really easily. Now, if you pre-ordered these, again, your dealer may have already been in touch with you to let you know that they're on their way or they're already here. If you go to the link in the video description that takes you to athearn.com and you see that they're sold out of stock, that means that they came and all pre-orders were fulfilled before we actually had any to stock. And that's going to be more common as we go forward. So if you want to pre-order, that will lock in your order. I have heard some people talking online saying, I don't want to tie up my money for this long, fill in the blank for the time. If you shop around, not all dealers require a deposit or all the money up front. So shop around. The only thing that you're out is time, waiting for these models to come in. Shop around to a dealer that's willing to work with you and allow you to pre-order those without any deposits. Or you can try your luck when they come in. Maybe the dealer ordered more than the pre-orders for his customers, maybe for store stock, maybe for a show, but it's going to start getting harder. And some of these really eye-catching paint schemes tend to sell out extremely quick. So do yourself a favor. If you missed out on these cars and you really like the design and style of these cars, I highly suggest the next time we offer them in a packet, go ahead and pre-order those. So again, like I was saying earlier, We should be seeing these about the middle of August or so. Depending on when you're watching this video, they could even be in stock right now. So talk to your dealer and see if you can secure one or more of these cars. You will save a little bit of money if you get the multi-packs. That's the way we've designed it. And we are still working very closely with our factory to firm up those lead times on when things are delivered. So with that, let's go ahead and run some trains. All right, we're here at the layout, and we've gone back to the 1950s, so to speak. We're going to pick up our Union car, and let's see what we've got for switching duty today. We're going to bring this in. We're in the era of 40-foot box cars. Cars with large tail fins and a lot of chrome. Doo-wop music. And, of course, one of EMD's most successful locomotives, diesel locomotives, the GP7. There's our full car. And looks like we've got Central Vermont doing the honors today. So we'll go ahead and uncouple from our very short train. Now these are Athearn cars. They're not going to have the same level of detail as an Athearn Genesis. But if you're modeling the transition era and you've got a home layout, you can leave them as is. If you want to go even further with the detail, you can certainly do that. Maybe you're into Fremo. And I mean, these are perfect for Fremo or any type of modular type of model railroad activity. They travel really well. And it's a car you just don't see anymore unless you see it at a museum. All right, we're going to get our Bell car all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Pick up our Union. A little bit of a disadvantage here because I'm on camera and there's a curve there. Now keep in mind, you want to swap out the couplers on this. We get it. We don't buy these as static models. We buy them as, operating models. If you want to put different couplers on, you certainly can. If you want to know how to do it before you purchase the model, select the link in the video description below. It'll take you to the page that has all of these cars. Select any one of those, and it'll take you to the product page. And you'll see that we are starting to add PDF exploded views of all of our freight cars. Pretty much when you see the actual picture of the car, that means we've uploaded the exploded views as well. Also, another thing that we're doing is we're putting function charts and exploded views and instructions for our locomotives. My train is stretching the truth just a little bit. I have a North Stratford Railroad boxcar here on the end of this train, which is technically 1970s. But it was one of the only 40-footers I had available at the time. So again, if you're one of those modelers that's into a modular standard, and you're concerned about details breaking, the Athearn line is a really good line to have. It's got just enough detail to satisfy most modelers, but not all the details. Now, another thing with Athearn too, we try to find a prototype for everything. It's not going to be as well refined as Genesis. Genesis is based on the prototype, unless we say it's a legendary liveries. Athearn line, there are times that we're going to find a prototype that looks very similar to the model that we're offering, but we offer the paint scheme because we know a lot of folks are just happy with a close stand-in. Now, the Central Vermont Jeep that I got here, this was one we announced many years ago. It's part of my personal collection and is no longer available. Now, if you want to keep track of what's going on at Athearn, if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and sign up for our Athearn newsletter. It's called the Dispatcher. We named it the Dispatcher because it mainly tells you when things are going to come into stock. We are working with our website to get ETAs back on our website. We think we've solved the problem. We've got a team of web folks that are working on it. Hopefully that will be resolved soon. Now I've got some surprises for you. We return Train Tuesday to the live interactive show in October. There's going to be some surprises. I'm looking forward to it. I'm working on some stuff for you that's going to make it more fun, more interactive. We'll still be doing operating sessions like this, but we'll also be answering your questions live on the feed. It's always a good time to hang out together as train modelers and ask questions and talk trains. So that'll be coming live again in October. We don't typically do lives in the summer because, let's face it, summertime is busy. Summer vacation for a lot of us happens. Maybe the kids are out of school. Summer activities tend to take over. Although, if you're like me, you still find an excuse to get into the train room. Well, that's all I've got for you. Again, these tank cars are going to be available probably about the middle to the late part of August. Contact your dealer if you pre-ordered one of these. If you didn't pre-order one of these, I would get on the phone or email with the dealer right away because they're going to sell out quickly. Remember, pre-order is your friend. So with that, I want everybody out there to be happy, be healthy, be safe, and do some good modeling. And above all, high greens. I'll catch you next time.